What up, all my Mingas, and welcome to the Minga Sports Podcast. I'm Nacho.
And I'm Garuta. I almost actually cut you off on act. You're like, welcome to Minga Sports Pod. I almost just said, oh, and I'm Garuta before you even said anything. That was fun.
Nice.
So the season's done for the
Yup.
NFL.
Yup.
Now what? That might be the question many of you are asking. Now what?
Where's my fan-voted favorite segment, you may ask?
Oh, you gotta wait. You gotta wait for the fan voted favorite segment. So today we are. Should we go with the? Yeah, we'll start with the USFL draft.
Yep.
Which is going on. It's currently going on, and I know two of the names. Yeah, I know two of the names that are on this list. I don't know how the USFL is gonna turn out. I'll watch the games. Will I get to know all the players and
No.
do all that? Probably not. So shout out to Shea Patterson, who went #1 overall to the Michigan Panthers, who was formerly a Michigan Wolverine. That's where he played his college ball. And then Jordan Ta'amu, who was great in the XFL for the St. Louis Battlehawks. I think he was on the Battlehawks. But he went 2nd overall to the Tampa Bay Bandits. And every other name on this list, I could not tell you a single person. So that's fun. Anyways, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of today's show.
Ooh.
Which is the GM and coaching changes that have been going on around the league. Now we've been talking about this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of changes between coaches. I think this is some of the most changes I've in recent years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people going everywhere, which is like,
Yeah.
I mean, cool, but it's been a lot.
I think it was like 8 head coaches were fired and like 4 GMs or something like. I think that's what it was. Along with all the coordinator changes and stuff. So there's a lot of names on this list that I see. So we're gonna go from the top of the list down to the bottom in no particular order. I just kind of wrote this down, and we'll see what happens.
You want it in any particular order?
No.
Fucking pay us.
Yeah. Subscribe right now. Subscribe right now with what team you want us to say first, and we'll do it. But
yeah, comment down below what you think the first team is that we're gonna say.
Take a wild guess.
Comment
lock it in.
Comment your answer to lock it in. Are you ready?
Yeah. Well, no, we gotta wait like 5 more seconds.
Oh, okay, they're still typing.
Right. Yeah, we gotta give them time. Yeah, they gotta think real quick, and then they gotta actually type it out in the comments. And by now they should probably have it. So the first team we're gonna talk about, remember, no particular order, was the Giants. I think the Giants had one of the first GM hires of this. Yeah, I think they had the first GM hire, who was Joe Shane. That's how you pronounce his name.
That's how you pronounce that?
I thought it was Schoen.
For context, it's Schoen.
I thought it was like Schoen or something. Schoen. It's Shane. So Joe Shane, our GM, who was former Bills director of player personnel, he takes over after Dave Gettleman, quote unquote, retires. Because boy, did he put together a team the past few years, and boy, did it not work.
They did come out and say that we've been letting Danny Dimes rot in New York.
That was our owner.
Oh.
That was our owner, John Mara. He said that. And they said, we've done everything in our power to screw this kid up. I'm like, hell yeah, you did. Um, so along with the GM changes, head coaching changes obviously happened. So Joe Judge fired. He got the boot. And then, in typical Belichick fashion, he picked him up. One of his former assistants, oh, you failed as a head coach? Come on back. And so now he's an offensive assistant. So how do you feel about that, huh? Huh, Nacho?
Well, we can get into how upset I am with our personnel changes later. But I mean, we have some holes to fill, so it's
I
all right.
I do not think I even put Patriots on this list. I'm gonna be real. Nope, I didn't.
Well, because we didn't really hire anybody, but we
Yeah, you guys
lost.
haven't
We
had any
lost a
major.
good couple,
Oh, that you did.
which is Bill is super unhappy about, and I mean, so am I. We lost some guys I would like to keep, but again, we can get
Yeah,
into that
I
for who
I
took
also
them.
lost some guys. We lost some guys who I would have liked to keep as well. Um, so Joe Judge fired. So who did we get? Brian Dabble, the Bills offensive coordinator. So I don't hate this pick. It wasn't my first choice. Like I said this a while ago. My first choice would have been Flores. I really liked Brian Flores coming in, but apparently we like Dabble. He worked with Shane back in Buffalo. He's worked with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs as their offensive coordinator, and Mitch Trubisky. He's worked with
Mm.
Trubisky.
Which there should be a lot of talks about him because people need
Oh no, I've
quarterbacks.
seen it. I've seen a lot of Mitch to New York.
I've seen a lot of like people talking about where people are going and no talk about Mitch, and I think
I've seen a lot about Mitch, and a lot of it was to New York, and I'm like, I do not know how to feel about
I
this.
will buy a Mitchell Trubisky Giants jersey on the spot if he joins.
This is what would happen if we did get Trubisky. We would start Daniel Jones, and if he just does shit, then we're gonna drop him by like we're not gonna pick up his extension or his 5th year option, and we're gonna start Trubisky, and then Trubisky's gonna do okay, and then we're either gonna draft a quarterback or pick up another quarterback in free agency. So Trubisky, either way, I think is gonna start the season on the bench, no matter what. If he's on the Giants, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think no matter what, just in general, he should. Um, but yeah, we'll get into free agency when that starts. Right now it's franchise tag season. That just started this morning, I think.
Fun.
Um, yeah, so can't wait for Devonte Adams to get fucking franchise tagged and then not paid, and then he's gonna be pissed. That's gonna be fun. Um, so the Giants, Brian Dabble hired his defensive coordinator Don Martindale, who was the Ravens defensive coordinator who got fired. I'm not I'm not upset or happy about that. It's just kind of meh. I definitely don't think the Ravens defense was terrible, but it definitely wasn't top tier. But I'm excited about our offensive coordinator. Mike Kafka was hired, and he was the Chiefs quarterback coach, meaning that our offensive coordinator worked with Patrick Mahomes, and our head coach has worked with Josh Allen, who are probably the two of the best quarterbacks in the league right now,
Mm-hmm.
right under Rodgers. Would you say?
For now with Rodgers,
Well, for now with Rodgers,
that's a little tidbit into
yeah, into what could happen.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about our offensive capabilities.
I would.
I wanted to keep Patrick Graham as our defensive coordinator, but he really did say fuck the Giants. And then he went to our next team. What a good segue. The
Ooh, fuck
Raiders.
the
What?
Raiders.
Why don't you like the Raiders?
Here's why I don't like the Raiders. Cause Bill is very upset at Josh McDaniels, who, good for him. We had a great offensive scheme, and although he hasn't had a great track record with being a head coach, he was like one of the best in the position right now, like for people who needed a head coach. And
Hmm.
so good for him. I'm not super upset about losing Josh McDaniels. I knew it was coming. I would have loved to keep him. I knew it was coming. He then proceeded to take other Patriots with him, which Bill does not like. And I don't love how he was just like, "Hey, you want to come work for me in Las Vegas instead of here in New England?" And then he took some guys.
I think that's just a bad move on those guys. Like
Yeah.
Mike Lombardi, like he could have probably been promoted to the Pats offensive coordinator and worked with a winning team under the best coach in the NFL ever. But he said, "What if I worked for his assistant on a worse team?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't quite understand that. But the Raiders are are another team with the GM. The GM was fired, Mike Mayock, and the head coach was also fired, Rich Bisaccia, which I
The
also agree
interim.
or disagree with. I disagree with Bisaccia. I thought Bisaccia did a fucking phenomenal job
Yeah, the Raiders had
bringing
like
the Raiders back from the depths of hell.
with everything that was going on the Raiders, they had no business being in the playoffs, but he got them there, and I would have kept
He
them.
got him to the fifth seed, like the first wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought firing Rich Bisaccia was not the best move. Um, but it is what it is. So they hired a GM in Dave Ziegler, who is the Patriots director of player personnel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably a big reason why McDaniels got the job, and then also Lombardi got the job. But they also stole Patrick Graham. I really wanted Patrick Graham as our DC. I thought he was doing a good job. I thought our defense was like okay, especially with what we had and all the injuries we had. I thought we were doing good. We were like a top. I think in his first year we were a top 10 defense. We were like number 10, like 2 years ago, 2020. I could be mistaken, but I thought we were good then, and then just our offense didn't do anything. But yeah, he's gone. Very sad. So we both hate the Raiders now.
Yep. It's
All
funny.
right,
I have a friend who is a Raiders fan and a Patriots fan. I'm curious on what his take on this is.
probably fucking ecstatic.
Well, he
He's like
is
best of both worlds on one team now. Let's
he
go.
is more of a Raiders fan. He's only a Patriots fan because he's from New England. But like,
Yikes.
yeah, his dad's a Raiders fan, so he was like, "I'll be a Raiders fan too."
Yeah, understandable. All right, next team. Let's keep in the AFC West. The Broncos. They fired Vic Fangio. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. They went 7-10 in the toughest division in football. One of the toughest divisions in football. I thought they had like a decent season. They just didn't have a quarterback, and that was their biggest downfall. Their defense was solid. They had weapons, just no one to throw the ball. So he got the axe. Um, and they hired Nathaniel Hackett, who was the Packers offensive coordinator. And then he also brought in Justin Outen, who's the Packers tight end coach, to be his offensive coordinator. So what are your thoughts on the Packers organization now infiltrating the Broncos amongst Aaron Rodgers to Denver rumors?
Um, well, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to Denver. I don't know where that started in the first place. Like, why would
It
he would want?
started last year.
Yeah, why would he
That's
want to
started
go to
before this season
Denver?
started. because they needed a quarterback, and John Elway was willing to spend money. Plus, they had a really good defense that could have carried him,
It's
and
true.
like decent weapons.
It'd have been.
Like Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick they're pretty good. Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, it's also like you said, the hardest division in football.
Could you imagine Mahomes, Rodgers, Herbert, and Carr in the same division?
Every game would be like a playoff game. That'd be great.
Holy shit!
Yeah, but I don't think that has anything to do with Rodgers. Like honestly, I don't think so. Even if Rodgers does end up in Denver, I don't think it still had anything to do with it.
No, probably not.
But
But
I
I
like this
think
idea because Vic Fangio was a defensive guy, I think.
yeah, he was a
And
defensive coach.
I like them going with a new offensive guy because I don't
I
know.
think their
I've heard a
defense is
lot
already
of
set.
yeah. I've heard a lot of Broncos fan complaining that they need an offensive minded coach.
I've heard that a lot with the Vikings. We'll get to them later.
Yeah.
But the Broncos, yeah, they have. I think they probably have one of the most solid defenses in the league. Like their secondary is really good when they're healthy. Um, their defensive front was really good, especially when they had Von Miller. But I don't think he's a necessity on that team. Um, I think it's just like their inside linebackers are a bit suspect, and then their quarterback. Everything else about this team is like really good. Their offensive line is pretty decent. They've a good tight end in Noah Fant. I already said a few of the receivers are good. Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams are two good backs. So like the only thing that this team is missing is the quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, and I think draft a quarterback, get a big name in free agency, splurge a little bit in like a Russell Wilson maybe, or what else have I seen? Who else is a free agent quarterback right now? I don't remember who's another free agent quarterback. I just saw that though. Um, Mitch Trubisky to Denver. That's what. Oh God.
I don't know what the cap situation looks like in Denver, but
They're under by a bit. I think.
oh, that's perfect because Kirk Cousins,
Hmm.
which we can get
I don't
into
hate
later.
that. I don't hate that pick. I don't hate Kirk Cousins to the Broncos. That'd actually kind of be good.
Yeah.
Hmm. Um. So yeah, the Rams secondary coach was also hired as the Broncos defensive coordinator. Um. I don't even want to try to pronounce his name. Ejiro Evero. We'll go with that. That sounded good, right?
That sounded pretty good. If you didn't,
Yeah. Did I spell it wrong? I think I spelled it wrong. I don't know, man. Anyways, Rams secondary coach as the defensive coordinator. What are your thoughts on that? I thought the Rams secondary was fucking
I mean,
phenomenal this year. Besides Jalen Ramsey getting burned in the Super Bowl.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I have no. I think that's a great pickup right there.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans. Uh, they fired their head coach David Culley after 1 year. I I don't know about that. You gave him a year.
Yeah.
He did like enough. He did as much as he could, especially when his starting quarterback goes down and they have to rely on a rookie who,
Did all right.
granted, he did pretty good. Yeah. But I don't like that they fired Coley and then immediately hired his defensive coordinator in Lovie Smith. I don't know about Houston, man. They've fucked themselves over ever since Bill O'Brien, they have just fucked themselves.
Yeah,
Because he traded away so many first round picks. He like traded away so many like top tier players, and then left them with just shit.
it's gonna be a couple of years before the Texans like get back to normal. And like
Yeah,
I don't know, they're in a very strange spot, and like they suck now.
yeah,
Because of the
they're the newest. They're the newest team in the league. They came in 02, and they sucked. They were awful. And then all of a sudden, they got put in a shitty division. Once Peyton Manning left and Andrew Luck kept getting injured, and all of a sudden they're winning divisional games and losing the playoffs. But like then they had Deshaun Watson and like, all right, they're on the up. And then just everything goes to shit once Bill O'Brien becomes GM. Why would they make him GM and head coach? Dumb. But yeah, I think I'd give it 5 years. If they're lucky, they'll be back in the playoffs in 5 years.
yeah, they're gonna need some serious time to like fix a
Yeah,
lot.
this is gonna be one of the deepest rebuilds in recent memory, besides like the Browns. But the Browns have just always been the Browns, and that's kind of
The
their.
Browns have always been in a rebuild.
Yeah, they are the perpetual rebuild team until like the past probably 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, next team, the Vikings. The
Mm-hmm.
Vikings had GM Rick Spielman fired, and head coach Mike Zimmer also fired. I like Zimmer being fired.
I also like Zimmer being fired.
Another defensive coach, who he would be great as a coordinator. I think he would be a fantastic defensive coordinator somewhere. But as a head coach, when you have Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, and Adam Thielen, and like Kirk Cousins, who's like average at best, you should be putting up way more points than they did this season. Let's take a quick gander. They put up 7 points against the Browns, 17 against the sorry ass Seahawks, 16 against Dallas's backups, uh, 10 against the Packers, 17 against the Bears. Like, not good numbers against decent to average defenses. Like, you should be putting up some more numbers than those with those people, buddy.
And it still pisses me off that Justin Jefferson needed like a couple yards to break a receiving record. I don't remember if it was NFL or a Vikings record. I think it was just a Vikings record. It was
Randy Moss's record. No, I think that was league wide.
is it?
I think so.
In any case, where he only needed a couple more yards, how it was just like he didn't throw him the ball in a press conference. Did you know about that? Oh yeah, we did. We just wanted to win the game, you know? And it's like, fuck you.
Get him his record. You're out of the playoffs anyways.
Yeah, it's just like throw it to him a singular time. I'm so pissed off about that. It's just like so disrespectful.
That is something that makes you mad, especially just with like he's such an emerging star. He's
Yeah.
a fantastic player in this league, and it's just like,
He deserved that record.
oh, we get him rookie record? Nah.
It is very disrespectful.
Yeah. So to replace these people, the GM Kwesi Afado-Mensah was hired. He was the Browns vice president of football operation. So I mean, I guess that's good. A good background to have right now. The Browns have been doing good the past couple of years. He brought in he helped bring in Baker and Jarvis and Odell. So I mean, yeah, I'm with it for a GM.
Mm-hmm.
And for head coach, they hired Kevin O'Connell the day after the Super Bowl, who was the Rams offensive coordinator.
I like that pickup.
I
They
like the pickup
they
as
need a
well.
strong offensive mind, and especially how good the Rams offense was
Yeah,
this season. That is a
especially
great pick.
yeah, especially since I would compare the Rams and the Vikings personnel on offense. Kirk Cousins is a little worse than Matt Stafford,
Yep.
but you have a 1-2 of Cooper Kupp and Odell. That's I would say that's similar to Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Maybe not as flashy,
Yeah.
but similar. Um Plus the Vikings actually have a suitable running back that surely won't get hurt this year.
It's
Surely he won't get hurt this year, Dalvin Cook. But I think it's good. And the offensive coordinator that he brought with him was Wes Phillips, who was the Rams passing game coordinator. So expect Kirk Cousins to actually do stuff with his weapons, which I'm excited about. I'm happy for them. And then a defensive coordinator, they hired Ed Donatel, who was the Broncos defensive coordinator. Not mad about that pick. The Broncos defense was decent this year.
yeah.
I'm excited. I think the Vikings have a good shot at playoffs. And depending on where Aaron Rodgers is, Vikings could, dare I say, win the North.
I'd say without Rodgers, they have it
Yeah.
pretty easily. Who's gonna stop him? Jordan Love,
Jared
Justin
Goff.
Fields.
Jared Goff's gonna stop him, bro. Someone on that team's gonna bite a kneecap. All right. Keep it in the North. General manager for the Bears, Ryan Pace, was fired. Another, GM one. Ryan Pace he shit in that team's mouth.
Yeah.
He was one of the worst GMs. Should have been fired 2 years ago. He wasn't. Extended Matt Nagy, and now him and both Pace and Nagy are fired. But I saw this. I saw this a couple weeks ago. They hired a GM with the same first name and or last name initial. They're both Ryan P. Both the GMs, and both of the head coaches were named Matt. So they fired Ryan Pace and brought in Ryan Poles, and they fired Matt Nagy and brought in Matt Eberflus, which I thought was really funny. But Ryan Poles was a director of player personnel for the Chiefs. So, I mean, he worked for the Chiefs. I think that's reputable enough to be at least decent.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus was hired as a head coach from the Colts. He was the defensive coordinator for the Colts.
And I would say that the Colts defense was pretty damn good. Yeah.
Dude, every time I look at the Colts defense, I'm just like, how the fuck were they not in the playoffs?
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's the name. That's the name. They're so good. It's such a good defense, and it's such a good offensive line, and there's so many receivers, and Jonathan Taylor, and then Carson Wentz. And it's just it so ruins it. Man. But anyways, I like
also Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
Who is for the off season the Colts daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to be hearing the end of that.
No.
I like the defensive mind for the Bears. that's been their whole like MO throughout their entire, you know,
That is kind of their bit. The
existence.
Bears usually have a good defense.
The Bears have a good defense, and then their offense gets them by. My one issue would be that quarterback spot. Are you gonna roll with Fields and just have him, not turn the ball over? Because he kind of did that a decent amount for when he played last season. Or are you gonna dip into some free agent money if you have any, and at least get a veteran, at least like get like a Ryan Fitzpatrick or something. Mitch Trubisky back to the Bears?
Oh my god! No, he wouldn't.
I don't think he would.
No, he came out afterwards and he was like, "They were so disrespectful to me. They don't even like me."
Yeah, because the Bears organization is like a joke for the most part.
Yeah, and Mitch now gets a bad. Mitch is better than he like.
Mitch has like the fourth best win percentage out of active quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, he gets a
And
bad
he's
rap
behind
because he was on the Bears.
Yeah, because he was on the Bears that didn't do anything. He still made it to playoffs twice.
He did, and he also won an MVP.
He won the MVP. He won the MVP.
Yeah,
Like that's
everybody has like an MVP. He is the MVP.
He was the first, and in my books, he's the only.
I was confused when they started handing out trophies like every week, because I thought it was gonna be like a one time, like I thought it was just the one playoff game gets like the MVP, and then it was like, oh, Joe Burrow gets a couple, and now he is the MVP of the season.
And then they realized that he could that they could make money off of the MVP, and they could get kids to watch football. So then they started handing it out every week, and I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah, because kids will be the only ones watching it, because goddamn is the Nickelodeon broadcast of the NFL so fucking bad.
I put it on for 5 minutes during that Dallas San Fran game, and like I'm like, I had it on for probably the first 5 minutes of the quarter, and then my dad walked out, and I had to change it. I changed it to normal broadcast. He's like, "Oh, what happened to the Nick one?" I'm like, I couldn't anymore. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It was so bad.
I was watching it on my computer, just the normal broadcast, whoever was broadcasting it, and I went down. Yeah, and I went downstairs for some food, and then I'm like, oh, I still want to watch the game. The game's still on, and I pull it up on my phone, and the NFL app is streaming both the normal one and the Nickelodeon one. So I'm like, oh, I gotta watch it. And previously you were like, no, it's bad. It's difficult. It was difficult to watch. And also there's just so much like animation and like top stuff going on. It's just distracting.
They add so much to keep children engaged that it takes away from what is happening.
Yeah, it is very distracting.
You're like, what the fuck is that slime blimp doing over? There's supposed to be a kickoff. What's the slime blimp doing?
Yeah, and then there's like a slime giant taking up 50 yards and half the screen.
Yeah. The commentators were worse too.
Yeah, and one of them was an 8-year-old child.
Yeah. Did you know Adam Schefter's child works on NFL Slime Time?
Good for his kid.
Yeah. She what is it? She's like a reporter now, and I'm like, damn, Adam really just gave his kid a career.
Yeah.
So good for her though. Anyways, back to the Bears. Too busy talking about the MVP.
Too busy talking about the guy you went up to draft and then left.
Yeah, they could have had Mahomes.
They really could have had Mahomes.
They could have ruined
Or
Mahomes, but instead
Deshaun.
they ruined. Yeah, yeah, they could have.
Who else was in that draft?
No one. I don't think anyone was in that 2017 draft class. Let's look it up.
That's what I'm doing.
Wow.
Uh,
Myles Garrett went 1 overall. Damn, that's good.
forgot he did that.
Oh, this is just a fucking full draft. Let's look at QB. What do we got? Deshaun. There's not a lot of names. Second round, Deshaun Kaiser. Third round, Davis Webb.
CJ
Third round,
Beathard.
CJ Beathard. Joshua Dobbs. No, that's not Duck.
Nathan
That's
Peterman.
Huh. Interesting. I know that. I know Peter meme. Brian Kaya.
Brad Kaya.
Chad Kelly. Did I say? Oh, I said Brian, didn't I? Ifeadi Odenigbo. He was in this draft.
Who?
He was on the Bengals this year, I think. I think he was Bengals or Browns. He was on one of those teams, and he was like a starter, but he's a 7th round pick here, so good for him.
I really love.
There are certainly some names on this. Trey Hendrickson, right before CJ Beathard.
I love how during the draft they didn't even call Mitchell Trubisky. They were just like, with the commissioner came on, Roger Goodell was like, and the number 2 pick, Mitchell Trubisky, quarterback. And he's like, oh, I guess I got picked.
Man, the Giants really drafted Evan Ingram, 23rd overall. Feels bad, man. Who did we draft in the second round? Let's take a look. We drafted Dalvin in the second round of this draft? Oh. Hey, Obi. Obi was in the second round of this draft, too. Out of UConn. We had a UConn player in the second round of this draft.
Let's go.
Let's go. Kamara was in this draft. Man, 2017 was, like, stacked, but at the same time, wasn't. Like, you look at this first round, and you're like, wow, this is a good first round. And then you like look at it comparatively and you're like, wow, it certainly was a first round. I don't know. Anyways. The Bears hired offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, who was formerly the Packers quarterback coach. You liking that? You not liking that?
What was it? Sorry. Oh, I mean, sure. I mean, it's Rodgers quarterback coach, so I mean, yeah.
See, my thing is I attribute that more to Rodgers. You know?
I mean, to be fair, yeah, at this point he doesn't really need a quarterback's coach. He is developed.
I would say Rodgers' success is due to Rodgers. Because we all saw that Jordan Love game this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Right. This is probably not the best pickup, now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Anyways, the Dolphins. LOL Dolphins.
Robert's team.
Brian Flores got fired. You all know about this. There's a lawsuit. Oh. There's a lawsuit that's going on. Whatever. We'll get to Brian Flores again later today. I think that's the finale.
It is.
Yes, sir. So they hired head coach Mike McDaniel, who was the 49ers offensive coordinator. And I really like Mike McDaniel.
I also like him. I like this as a pickup, and I like him just as a guy.
I like him as a bet.
He's cool.
Yeah. Worked for the 49ers offense, which
was electric.
I think the Dolphins also need an offensive coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their defense was pretty solid this year. I think it was probably better than a lot of people expected. Let me go to their depth chart because I know they have some like stupid picks in the secondary. Yeah, they have Byron Jones, Jason McCourty, and Xavier Howard in the secondary. Jalen Phillips and Jerome Baker at linebacker. Christian Wilkins, of course, up front. Like, this is a pretty good defense. Only thing they would probably need to work on is another team where you need a slightly better quarterback, and this team could be good, and maybe a lineman or two.
Mm-hmm.
But like you have Mike Gesicki, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, like pretty decent names. Myles Gaskin and Philip Lindsay for running backs, along with Duke Johnson. But maybe a slight upgrade at quarterback and a lineman and maybe how to play offense. And this team would have been good. And now they have the how to play offense piece. I think the Dolphins are going to be an exciting team to watch in free agency. So if I'm not mistaken, they have cap space. Let me look that up real quick.
I don't like these moves because I'm a Patriots fan. And this is good for the Dolphins. Shout out Robert, because it's your team, and TJ for like the 5 NFL games you watched this season.
Yo, that's cool.
I don't know actually how much he watches. I just assume it's not a lot.
Okay, yeah, they have cap space. They have a good amount of cap space. So I think that they could possibly have a good free agency. Yo, Rodgers to the Dolphins. How about that? Huh?
Fuck no. Please, dude, God. If there's a God in heaven.
You would cry. Oh, that's funny.
Please, no. I was already scared about Deshaun coming in. I do not want Aaron Rodgers in my division.
The Dolphins are projected to have $75 million in cap space entering 2022. No NFL team is projected to have more.
Go get Kirk Cousins.
No, they're gonna get Rodgers or Russ.
They're not getting Rodgers or Russ.
Dude, could you imagine Russ on the Dolphins? You would not like to.
No. I don't see him coming to the Dolphins, but I would also not like to see him on the Dolphins.
I think it would be funny. I really do think it would just be funny.
What do you mean it would be funny?
I would laugh so hard.
Poor Mac would have to deal with fucking Josh Allen and Russell Wilson.
Don't forget about Zach Wilson.
No, I think I will. Those were actually 2 free games. We scored it must have been a collective 80 points on them or something.
Did you guys lose to the Dolphins twice this season?
Yep.
You did.
We started and finished with a loss.
Against the Dolphins. Wow, that's kind of crazy. How? How did Tua score on your defense?
We would have won the first game, but we fumbled at the end zone and lost the game. And the second one, we just shat ourselves, intensely.
Yeah, that makes sense. I buy it.
We scored this season a collective of 79 points on the Jets.
That's like some Raiders Chiefs numbers. The Chiefs just fucking dominated the Raiders twice this year.
Yeah, it was the first game was 54-13. The second game was 25-6.
Nice.
So yeah. Mac is now your daddy, Jets.
Very cool.
Get fucked.
Um, so the Dolphins also hired their offensive coordinator in Frank Smith, who was the Chargers' run game coordinator and offensive line coach, I believe. Um, do with that information what you will. He he's good at
I bet it's a fine
offensive line.
it's a fine pickup.
Yeah. You think?
That's all right.
I thought the Chargers had a good offensive line
Yeah,
this
I was
year.
gonna say it fills a spot.
Yeah. All right, now onto the fun team, the
Hmm.
Jaguars. Urban Meyer got the boot.
Wait, what? How?
Whoa, I know, crazy. And then his whoever his interim was also got the boot, and they said, "Nah, fuck this."
I don't remember who he was, but he was like, I should be considered for this job. I don't understand why you guys are counting me out for this job.
Damn, it's crazy. It's almost like you worked for Urban Meyer, so all your credibility is lost. Anyways, they hired Doug Peterson as their head coach.
Didn't see this coming.
I think that was fucking funny. I started laughing. Doug Peterson hasn't been in the league and he missed last season after getting fired from the Eagles job because he was a dog shit coach to his players. And wow, crazy that Jacksonville picks him up. So, whatever.
I don't mind this pickup actually.
Why? Please explain.
I don't know. I feel like he's gonna be good. Just 'cause she got that little bit of feeling.
I hate to break it to you, but he's in Jacksonville.
Nah. No, I
Do you
mean
think
like
Jacksonville will make the playoffs within the next 3 years?
no. I just mean good as in better than what they're doing now.
Better than Urban Meyer, but that's a really, really, really low bar.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
Yeah, I don't see this team going anywhere. Their GM should be fired. Their owner should sell the team because he knows nothing about fucking football. And I don't know. On top of that, they hired an offensive coordinator, Press Taylor, who was just a Colts offensive assistant.
Hey, Bob.
He wasn't even the best Colts offensive assistant available, but all right, whatever. Um, they hired a defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell, who's the Bucks inside linebacker coach, which,
Bucks have pretty good
I guess that's
linebackers.
okay. I guess that's pretty good. That's good for their defense, but they have no players. Breaking news: UConn upset number 8 ranked Villanova in men's basketball. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, UConn. But yeah, I think the Jags are going to do dog shit this season. Again.
I feel like we're gonna see improvement in Trevor Lawrence though, and
Maybe.
their kickers.
And their kickers. I want to see the Jags get the first overall pick for the 3rd year in a row. I can't be the only one who wants that, right?
That's just
That would be funny.
that's funny.
Make it happen, Jacksonville. Do your thing.
They can though. It's the thing. Like that's not a far out thing. That's just like a
I know.
that's a
Like,
very
it's a
possible
very real
thing.
possible. Oh, that's funny.
Because
I
name
like this.
name a team worse than the Jaguars.
Houston. The only team I see
You think
regressing
Houston is worse?
So all right. Let's look at the top 10 picks. All right? Let's look at the top 10 picks, we'll say. So you got Jacksonville, who I don't think is on the up. They're probably going to go backwards. Detroit, who I think could very well.
I think they're on the up.
I agree. I think especially they're going to draft Aiden Hutchinson probably,
I would.
which I fucking hope so.
He's so
Dude,
good.
if Jacksonville takes Hutchinson, I'm going to lose my shit.
Because they don't need him.
They need the best offensive lineman, who's that kid from NC State. Um, then Detroit takes Hutchinson at 2. All right, they're on the up. Houston has the potential. Um, I don't know who. Houston should probably also sign an offensive lineman. They should probably get Evan Neal out of Bama. Um, the Jets could maybe go backwards. I don't know. I see the Jets staying put. I see him top 5 pick. I don't see him number 1 though. The Giants, I hope to fucking God you're on the up. I don't want to like. I'm gonna go into cardiac arrest if they're not. Um,
To switch
the
teams, be a Lions fan or something.
I might have to. My sister's boyfriend's a Lions fan, and I'm like,
Poor guy.
man. I'm like, man, I feel bad because man, you're a Lions fan. And then I'm like, wait, I'm a Giants fan. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could say shit anymore. I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, haha, your team is bad, and I'm like, wait a minute, my team is bad.
Bobble beep.
um, the Panthers are interesting.
They could be fine if they had a quarterback.
They could be mediocre. Like if McCaffrey stays healthy, they can maybe get a big name in. Or no, wait, they're gonna stick with Darnold because they signed his 5th-year option already.
They did?
They signed it before the season started.
Oh.
And then he played played a couple games, got hurt, and then just played like shit.
I saw
So they're paying almost $20 million a year for him this year.
Carolina
so you might as
has
well
some
play.
Carolina has some money, and I saw that they could possibly get Kirk Cousins.
I don't think so. This is what I would do if I were Carolina.
That's
all right?
that's the big idea right now, is that, or where Kirk Cousins could go.
Listen, I know that paying coaches to lose is a bad thing. But with this team, I don't think you have to pay to lose. You know? You can like play normally. You'll have Sam Darnold at quarterback. You'll have like McCaffrey will probably get hurt again. You'll have a couple other, decent players that want out that maybe you can trade at the deadline for picks, and then you go into fucking full rebuild mode next year, right? You can get the number 1 overall, draft the best quarterback available. You know, you're already stuck with 20 million with Darnold. You're already stuck $20 million paying him. You might as well fucking play him and hope you lose. You know?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It does.
Yeah. Next team, Chicago. I don't know. Chicago's probably gonna stay put. Atlanta might go down depending on what Matt Ryan does and what their offense does. Denver is probably on the up, and the Jets, or not the Jets, the Seattle Seahawks are probably on the up. The only teams I see competing for the number 1 pick: Jacksonville, Houston, the Jets, and the Panthers.
Yeah.
So I could see the 3-peat for Jacksonville. That's all I'm saying.
You calling it now?
Yeah, because I'll look really cool if I actually call it. And then if I don't, or if it's not right, then then it'll be enough time where everyone will forget about it. Yeah, no one's gonna remember it, so it'll be fine. All right, moving on to the Saints. Sean Payton, the head coach of the Saints for the past decade and a half, has retired. He was a good coach. So they're sticking with his coaching tree, and Dennis Allen has been promoted, who is their defensive coordinator. Thoughts on a defensive coach in New Orleans again?
You say again, why was Sean Payton a defensive
Yeah,
guy?
he was defensive minded,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part.
Uh, I mean, sure. Saints have always had a pretty good defense. I don't know. I mean, what do they have on offense, really? So,
I feel like their defense was sort of lackluster this year. Like I know they lost a couple guys in free agency, but like overall, I felt like they were just meh.
I think their defense was good, like mid.
Yeah,
Like they weren't bad, but they weren't outstanding, and that it's all right.
yeah, they weren't great, but they weren't terrible.
Not really much to say. I mean, people didn't really think Sean Payton was going to retire, and then he did, and then it's like, oh, I mean, not really a
Yeah,
surprise.
everyone needs to shut the fuck up with saying Sean Payton's gonna go to the Cowboys next year. I doubt it.
No, he's done.
I think he's done.
I think he's done.
I think he's done. He might come back in like a, I don't know. I could see him coming back in like just an analyst role for like a Fox Sports.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him doing that, but I don't see him coaching anymore. All right, let's move on to the Ravens. The Ravens, we already said they parted ways with their defensive coordinator Don Martindale, who is now on the Giants. And this is probably one of the most interesting coordinator hires. They hired Mike McDonald from the University of Michigan. He's the defensive coordinator at the University of Michigan under Jim Harbaugh, and he's now the defensive coordinator for Baltimore under John Harbaugh. What are your thoughts on college guy?
Is there relation between the two?
What do you mean?
The Harbaugh?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Remember when they played each other in the Super Bowl and everyone was freaking out? It was like,
Oh,
Harbaugh's gonna
right.
win. Yeah.
I like this. I mean, Michigan's defense was very good this season.
Yeah, well, when you have an Aiden Hutchinson on your team, you're bound to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that dude's tape?
I have.
I don't understand
I
how
actually
he
I
does the
watched
things
a
he
bit
does.
of college football this year. I don't know. I'm not really into college sports, but I watched some college football, and man, he was crazy.
Yep, the only defensive Heisman candidate this year, so that's good. I think it's an interesting hire. It's either gonna be fucking huge brain in
Or
the long run,
not
or
great.
a flop, or a flop. But I think it's a cool hire.
Yeah.
Um, the Lions have parted ways with their offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn, who was the Chargers head coach in 2020. Um, I thought I think Anthony Lynn is like he's so close to being a head coach, and the only reason is time management. That's the only reason he's still not the head coach in Los Angeles. Because man, did he manage clocks poorly. And I don't know, if he hadn't, I think he'd still be their head coach, but now he's got to fight for coordinator and assistant coordinator jobs. And that's just kind of sad. But the Lions promoted their tight end coach Ben Johnson, and he will now be taking over offensive coordinator duties.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
cool. I don't know anything about Ben Johnson, but
Ben, well, he's coached T.J. Hawkinson, so I mean, obviously,
he's doing something right.
obviously he's a coach.
I just beatboxed. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was kind of sick. The Seahawks. One of the I think like the first day of the coaching changes, they fired their defensive coordinator Ken Norton because their defense kind of sucked this year. And then like within the past few days, they promoted Clint Hurt, who was their defensive line coach, which I don't know, man. I feel like ever since the collapse of the Legion of Boom, the Seahawks defense has been not good, like at
Yeah,
all.
I agree. They have not found their footing.
Like they they have Bobby Wagner, and Bobby Wagner's been there for a while, and he's getting kind of up there in age, but he's still like a good middle linebacker. Quandre Diggs is a good free safety, but man, Jamal Adams, man,
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 he
Jamal
exists, and he
Adams
is
is a
getting paid
player.
money.
He is getting paid way too much money. Um, and then your only decent cornerback is Sidney Jones. Like, man, this defense needs some work. But their offense is good. If they can stay healthy, their offense should be fine. But yeah, uh, their defensive line coach, he's got a lot to take care of now.
Hmm.
All right, moving on to the Chargers. The only Chargers news is the special teams coordinator got fired. So they hired a Vikings assistant, Ryan Ficken. And
Language.
Thank you. Very cool. Shut the fuck up. Um, how are the Vikings special teams this year? Oh yeah, they missed a field goal and lost a game, and then gave up a game-winning field goal in the first two games. Forgot about that.
Hmm.
Let's move on. Panthers. Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, was fired because his only credentials for being a coach was Joe Burrow at LSU, and then he was brought in to be the offensive coordinator for the Panthers immediately, and sucked. And then their special teams coordinator Chase Blackburn was fired as well. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know shit about the Panthers special teams. I could not tell you who their kicker is right now.
I couldn't give a shit about watching the Panthers.
I couldn't give a shit about watching the
They
Panthers.
sucked. I didn't like. Cam Newton came back. I'm back, and then he like shat himself in his diaper, and I don't care.
That was the only. All right, This is me paying attention to the Panthers this year. They went 3-0. I said they've had an easy schedule. They're busts. Like they're gonna shit the bed in 2 weeks. And then they got two more wins the rest of the season. They went 2-13 or 2-4 or 2-12. Yeah, that's the math. They went 2-12 for the rest of the season, including losing to the Giants, which that's impressive. But like then Cam came back and they got some extra PR, and then Cam shit the bed, and then no one cared about them again. And that's just how the Panthers operated this year.
What do you think's gonna happen with Cam Newton? I have an idea
He's,
of what should
he should
happen.
fucking retire. That's what he should do. He should take the RG3 path and and just become an ESPN college football analyst. That's what he should do.
Yeah, his publicity will take him anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Or he revives his career in the USFL
No, I don't want to see him there.
or the XFL.
No, I do not want to see him there.
Why? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but it's just like, what's this 50-year-old man doing here?
He's being awesome. That's what he's doing.
What I think he should do is I think he should if he wants to play, if he wants to retire. Um but if he wants to play, I think he should just be a backup in Carolina and then that's his career from now on. Because
I think if he wants
he
to
offered
play,
to be a backup in New England, but it was just a locker room difference is why we had to let him go.
if he wants to play, he would go to one of those leagues. He would go to the USFL or the XFL. If he really wants to play, he would go there. Try and like restart your career. Try and do all that.
How old is
And
Cam?
maybe you'll get another chance. He was drafted in 2011,
He's
so he's probably
32.
Like 31, 32, yeah. Yeah, like he can still fucking play, but not at like the NFL highest level. I think he would be fucking phenomenal in one of those lower leagues.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like he can still run the ball. He can do a lot of short passes.
Well, did you see that pass where he had to like throw to his left like 2 feet and he very missed?
Very cool. I did not see that.
Oh,
But
I'll find
anyways,
it. It's bad.
he should hopefully be able to throw. Hopefully he was.
A little bit of technical difficulties there, folks, as my power just flickered.
But we are back nonetheless. So that's good.
That was cool.
Anyways,
Thanks,
as I was
Forrest.
saying, Ben McAdoo was hired as the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, who was the Giants head coach back in 2017 when he made us suck. He was the first coach that was awful of our rebuild. And then they hired the Bears special team coordinator, Chris Tabor, for their special teams, which the Bears didn't have a great special teams unit either, so that's funny. Panthers are one of the teams I see regressing. Gonna be real. And it's hard to regress when you have the 6th overall pick.
You think they're gonna do worse than like 4 wins?
I think they had 5 wins this season, and I can definitely see them doing worse. Their only saving grace is that their division sucks now.
That is true. The division is kind of bad. Ayo, Matty Ice takeover?
Matty Ice, I could see Atlanta winning this division at this point.
I mean, the Bucks are gonna lose like everybody.
They're gonna lose all their free agents because Tom Brady's not there anymore.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
They're against the Panthers, and which they're not doing shit. The Saints,
yeah, the Panthers,
which are I don't even know, man.
If Jameis can play a full season, the Saints could be okay.
The Saints could win this division if that were the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or
and
if
the Falcons.
The Falcons could have a like tiny resurgence, but like only in the NFC South.
I could see the Falcons winning this division. I cannot see them making it any further than the wild card round in the playoffs.
Oh no, but I think they could maybe make the playoffs. Or I mean this is just my opinion that someone's gonna take Matt Ryan. Or at least someone should take Matt Ryan.
No, I don't think anyone's gonna. Matt Ryan wants to stay a Falcon for life.
Does he?
Yeah, he said it.
Oh, I haven't seen him say it. I just think someone should take him because it's a good I don't know. He's severely underrated, and I think he's a good quarterback for a lot of teams who need one. Like a proven quarterback.
He just has nothing. That's just like he has no weapons. He has no like. I don't know. They lost Julio. Calvin Ridley's away indefinitely. Like they have Kyle Pitts and Russell Gage, who aren't bad, but they're not like weapons, you know.
Yeah, you don't really have a tight end as your like number one guy.
Unless his name is Gronk.
That's true.
But Gronk is one of the best tight ends to ever play the game.
The best, in my opinion.
One of. One of.
I
Don't
said
push your luck, buddy.
I said what I
Don't push your
said.
luck, buddy. Don't push your luck, buddy.
What are you gonna do? Shut my power off again?
Yeah, yeah. Let me drive over. Let me drive over real quick. All right. Anyways, the Packers had to get some people because their guys got lost in the coaching wheel. So they promoted their run game coordinator and offensive line coach Adam Stenovich to their offensive coordinator, who I like. I like that pick.
Yeah.
I think I liked the dual threat of AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, and I thought they had a pretty solid line even without Bakhtiari this year. And then this is the pick I really liked. Rich Bisaccia, the former interim head coach for the Raiders, now special teams coordinator for the Packers. I like it. I like it a lot.
I love that. It gives him because he obviously probably wanted a head coaching job, but it gives him a spot where he can have a big role, because they're gonna be pretty hard on him to be like, hey, special teams has gotta be really fucking good.
Yep, especially after this year. I don't think special teams for the Packers can get much worse. So I think having someone who was in a head coaching position for however short time, I think it's good to have him there with that experience and with everything that he has. So I like the Packers pickups. I'm a big fan. I think they could, if given that they have Aaron Rodgers, I think they could be really good.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff that has to go right for the Packers to do anything.
Yeah, and the first thing is retaining Aaron Rodgers. That's just like the biggest. I think that's the biggest thing for the Packers this year, this offseason. Keep the fucking keep your quarterback by any means necessary.
Yeah, worry about everything else later.
Yeah. The Colts, they lost their DC to a head coaching position, so they hired Gus Bradley, who was the Raiders defensive coordinator. I'm not I'm not opposed to this pick. I thought the Raiders defense last year was pretty solid.
It was pretty good, yeah.
Got them to a playoff spot. Their defensive line was fucking nasty. But I think this is good for the Colts. Their defensive players, we already talked about them. Awesome.
Very good defense.
I like their defensive personnel. I think having like a solid defensive coach for them is gonna be pretty good.
Agreed.
Yeah. The 49ers hired Anthony Lynn, who we also talked about recently. As just an offensive, or as their assistant head coach. I thought he was an offensive assistant. He's their assistant head coach. I like this. I think it's good for Anthony Lynn to develop to become a head coach again. Develop as an assistant under Kyle Shanahan. I think he could bring a lot to this team, and I'm kind of liking this pickup.
I'm gonna have to agree with you again.
Nice. The Bills promoted their quarterback coach Ken Dorsey, and he is now their offensive coordinator. I think this is a big power move. Josh Allen is your offense, so might as well make his former coach your coordinator, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess there's not really much to talk about there.
I know.
I mean,
well, that's because it's just the coordinator.
Yeah, most of these are just like they are what they are, and they're gonna do what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Steelers are the final team we're gonna talk about, because boy, things happened.
Yep.
Terrell Austin, who was their secondary coach, was promoted to defensive coordinator. Not opposed to this pick. I thought the Steelers secondary was pretty decent. But the big addition,
Yeah.
as an assistant defensive coordinator and linebackers coach, Brian Flores was hired.
Now that's a
What do
big
you,
leap backwards from head coach.
but what do you think about the pickup?
Well, it's obviously gonna bring controversy if he doesn't do what what his case says or that he says is gonna do. Because as soon as he released his stuff saying like everything has gone to shit, some stuff looked like it's been going not his way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a huge position that he's taking on. So, I think you have a smart football guy in a not super important position. So it's at
I'm
I'm
I'm just glad
alright with
he
it.
got a job. I'm just glad he got a job.
I think yeah,
I think his skill is well deserving
yeah.
of having a job in this league.
I think it
Whether it
also
be as a
helps.
coordinator.
I
No, go
think
ahead.
it helps that him getting a job will open the doors for him to get like future job, because after he let his case out, he was like, I fully aware I might lose my job. I'm fully, and that is true. He could have not worked in football ever again, and I feel like him just getting a small job with the Steelers is going to help him a lot in the future.
I think it already will prove that all right, he's going to get another job. He's going to get another shot at some point in the league.
I agree, yeah.
Like I think no matter what happens with this case, that's going to show.
Yeah, you can't really disagree with what he did in Miami.
No, I totally like agree with his case in Miami, but and I
No, I mean
also
just
agree
his
that
skill set when he did with
oh
Miami.
yeah. Well, I thought you were talking about I do like I totally agree with him not taking money to lose games.
Also, that's pretty fucked.
Yeah. I agree with his case against Miami. The Rooney Rule does need to get fixed, but I don't think he has enough of a case for him to win the lawsuit against the league.
Yeah.
You know? I agree. I totally agree that there needs to be more black head coaches, and there needs to be more awareness about that. But I don't know. There's not really a way to fix it. So, is what it is.
We just can hope that they'll do better.
Yeah, that's just gotta be what it is. You gotta be, hey, do better. Just say it really strictly, and maybe they'll listen.
Give him a slap, maybe.
Yeah.
Have Robert come in. Robert will go. Are you fucking kidding me?
You fucking kidding me?
Come on.
You're better than this. Bro, I saw Robert at school the other day.
I know he said that.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. You brought it up. I ask frequently. I'm like, Anthony hasn't said that he's seen you. Have you seen Anthony? He always goes, no.
Yeah, I saw him, I think on like Thursday.
He said that you gave like a head nod, and then that was it.
I did. He walked by me, and I gave him a head nod. He kind of smiled and gave me a head nod, and then walked
He
away.
was happy.
Was he happy to see me?
Well, just from the description. I was picturing that event occurring, and I just saw a smile on his face as he just walked away.
Yeah. Is that gonna do it for our regularly scheduled Minga?
That might do it for our Minga.
We came back for 13 minutes after your power flickered.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Mingas from now on. I mean, I know this was collective, like after editing. I think it's gonna be like an hour 15, hour 20. They're gonna be probably this or even shorter. Actually, no, I bet they'll
maybe even longer.
Maybe even longer. I just thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go
we got some
into
big stuff in the works.
more football content because we do like football. Maybe we'll dip into other sports as this is a sports podcast.
I think we should just like accept that we are NFL and other sports just exist,
That
and
is
we'll talk
true.
about them occasionally.
Um, yeah. So we have some stuff going on because obviously there's not going to be a lot of games being played. And then we can't really report baseball because baseball's kind of I don't know, freaking out right now.
Baseball, all right, I've said this before. If there is a season before June, I will be in shocked because spring training did just get delayed to mid-March. You know, the month before opening day is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, are they having opening day in March again? Because I know they had that a while ago. I don't know. No one knows. No one knows anything because the MLB is a bunch of pussies.
Opening day is March 31st.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Um, I don't know, man. Baseball. What? Listening to baseball lockout makes me angry.
Yeah.
And then they want to get rid of like 100 prospects, like minor league. Like I'm pretty sure they want to just dissolve a full minor league league. Like there's triple A, double A, single A, and then there's like rookie A and rookie double A.
I I
I think they
I
want to dissolve one of the rookie ones.
I do not like the minor league system. I do, however, appreciate how if you make it to the MLB, you are the best of the best. And I
Yeah,
and I do like that because it's different from other sports where yeah, some sports have other like leagues and like
mhm.
below leagues. But baseball, if you get to the show, you are top talent in the world.
Yeah, you are best of the best.
But it
And
also
I like
sucks. I
I
yeah, I
like
like that.
affiliates. I like the affiliate system. Like with how the I do agree that there should be a little bit less, but I like with the NHL how they have the AHL as well. I think that's great. Have your affiliates, your farm team, make sure you're getting your best guys that you possibly can up there while retaining some of the guys who you want to develop. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't think you should have 5 minor league teams, but
Yeah,
is what it
A,
is.
single A, double A, triple A, I think that's plenty. And if you don't make any of those, you weren't good enough. Sorry, you're cut.
Go to Japan.
Yeah. Because I mean honestly, people are like keep their baseball careers alive by being like single A players for life. And it's cool that you get to play baseball as a living. But I mean single A players only make like what, 15 grand off of that.
No,
But
I think the minor league salaries are like not terrible.
no, minor league salaries are
Are
bad.
they?
Minor league salaries are very bad.
Let's look it up.
Like
Minor league salary minimum. Class A so
let's
wait, what? Wait, what is this?
um single A, or I don't know if this is single A, but it's
A weekly minimum of $500.
yeah, usually it says
Holy shit,
in
that's so
20
not good.
2021 most minor league players made between 8 and 14,000.
Most minor leaguers make less than 15,000 per year.
Yeah.
What was the next? Oh God,
Yeah, I was right around with my 15 ballpark number. Pun now intended that I think about it.
that's really cool.
Uh yeah, I
Yeah,
I don't think that you should like just go join like a league from like your neighborhood or something. I don't
yeah.
like
Go
how
join like your American Legion League
there's so
or
many
whatever.
fucking minor league leagues.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think. All right, this is what I want. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I want the CFL, the XFL, NFL Europe, and the USFL to all combine and and be affiliated with an NFL team.
That's just the
You know?
same problem we ran into with baseball, but in football.
No, but it's only one. Like, it's only like the hockey has AHL. This would be like,
I
yeah,
see. No,
yeah. So like you
I
can
have
develop
thought for a
players.
while that you need to develop players in the NFL because
Yeah,
it's either NFL players shelf life is either you get in there and you make a play or you fuck up and you're cut and then you're a practice squad player for a year or two and then you don't play football anymore.
yeah,
Or
and like
you
it would
develop
be
and yeah.
you can develop on a different team that's like fighting for like another like smaller conference, and then you can get brought up. Or if you're good enough, like most first round picks
We'll just go
in
straight
the
to the
system,
NFL.
most for yeah, they'll just go straight to the league. If you're really good in the second, like if you're really good in the second or third round, they could bring you up there. If you start to like really show in your developmental league, they can just pull you up from the they could pull you up to the NFL. If you're not doing too hot, you can get dropped back down. I think it would make preseason a lot better
It would make
because
people's like
instead of
rehab a
totally
lot better.
yeah, instead of totally cutting guys, you would just, okay, we're gonna put you on our minor affiliate right now. The fucking the New Jersey Generals, and you'll be, we'll see how you do then. I think it's I like having a one team affiliate system.
I agree.
Like I think hockey does a great job with that. What I don't like about hockey is that they make the affiliate system mandatory. But I think that that's like such an easy change to fix. Like hockey, you have to spend like some amount of days on your affiliate team before you can get brought up, but that can change.
Yeah, and I think with that, that is the end of our regularly scheduled Minga.
Dude, I drank half a gallon of iced tea during this Minga session.
Your peach snapple?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Shit's so good.
I haven't had a Snapple in a while.
You think Snapple will sponsor us if you send them a really nice email?
Maybe.
Because if I get free Snapple, bro, I'll be pissing for days.
Anyways,
I'm gonna make that my Discord status.
I'm gonna be pissing for days.
Bro, if I get free Snapple, I'm gonna be pissing for days.
We're gonna go talk to the executives at Snapple. So,
Yeah.
thank you all for listening or watching. However you view Minga, we appreciate it. We're gonna be doing some different kind of content moving forward. I don't know.
It's fun. It's gonna be great.
Do you want to say what? Should we say what we're doing, or should we just leave it up to the imagination?
You could say it. I don't care.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing some like tier lists. We talked. I mean, we talked about this a long time ago. How we want to do like uniform and team and maybe quarterback tier list. So yeah, it'll be fun. We're creative. We'll talk about it. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
The Mingas are streamed live every Tuesday, usually in the nighttime. Usually the start time is from 7 to 9. It may have been starting a bit later, so watch out for those.
It's gonna be towards 9.
Yeah.
On either Tuesdays or Wednesdays, depending on what we're feeling.
Yep, that's over twitch.tv/Nacho Live. That was 0. If you want to go watch our gaming and sports content, which is just VODs and that have timestamps on them, or again, gaming content, go over to YouTube and look up Minga Sports and Gaming. We got some nice stuff there. And then if you like your podcast in the audio only format, just go look it up.
Or you could just type in the channel URL, which is on the overlay right now.
That is, yeah, we put that there a while ago. It's funny that worked. That's the actual channel URL.
That is the channel URL. So go type that in your search bar.
Type it in. If you comment that you typed it in, we'll shout you out.
Yeah, if you comment it, we'll shout you out next episode. Next episode's gonna be fun.
These next couple of episodes should be pretty fun because we got some interesting ideas that don't involve just going over every team, every play.
Yeah.
And without further ado, I think that's it.
I think that's it as well.
All right, I'll get y'all Mingas on the flip. The word to your mother.